a break, and then next, Keith Hillier and horse racing. There's plenty to talk about in racing. Keith Hillier has joined us as always, and our special guest today is Michael Clark. Michael, who's been riding the new wonder horse of Australian racing, Hariba. And what an impact this horse has had, Keith. We just talked about it with Neil Fraser a moment ago. Frank Sedgman, one of the part owners of Hariba.
He's a very exciting sprinter, Bruce. Yesterday was his 4th win on the trot, and he's won those races by an aggregate of 26 lengths. And he passed a few tests yesterday. He's very good. Michael,
I was surprised to read that you said he might be the best horse you've ever ridden. Now, was it... You've got a short memory. You've better loosen up. And now, you rode a horse called Special once, didn't you, in primacy in those horses?
Yeah, no, I mean, Special's the best sprinter I've ridden, Bruce, and I didn't quote it that way. I said potentially this horse might, you know, he might be capable of matching the same record as Special and go along those lines.
Well, let's have a look at him yesterday. Keith said he passed a lot of tests yesterday. He certainly did it in fine style. You didn't ride him for pace. You sat second. Was there a query about the 1400 in the back of your mind?
Well, the main thing, Bruce, was that the horse might be going for the Australian Guineas, the mile race. And I just wanted to ride him a little bit quiet to see if he could relax, and he might be more benefit once he goes to the 1600 if he can ride him just off the pace.
That's Hariba outside the leader in the pink cap. Nick Clark took a peep around there. Now Damien Oliver in the yellow cap on Paris Lane puts the pressure on Hariba, looks for a flaw in the youngster, but there isn't one.
Was there a doubt in your mind, Mick, that he wouldn't respond for a moment or two?
Not really, Bruce. The big thing was when I watched the replay, if you notice, I probably just sat a little bit long on the horse holding him together, and I was surprised the other horse sprinted to me so quickly. And when Paris Lane did come out of Hariba, they put a big gap in the rest of the field, and it wasn't really till about the last 300 that I asked him to go.
He ran 46.2, I think, for his last 800 in comparison to Blue Boss in the next race, which was quite a bit slower, 47.5, and I think that tells a tale.
Yes, in the overall times, he was a tenth of a second faster than Blue Boss, who beat open class horses. Blue Boss is pretty smart, and yesterday was his most impressive win, I think, ever. But Hariba is, the tests he passed were the weight carrying test, 58.5, after he's had nothing on his back, and it was his first run at that distance also, Bruce.
Michael, how do you think Hariba would have gone yesterday with Blue Boss? Remembering Blue Boss won what was, I guess, the feature race on the program over the same distance?
Well, I rode in that race, Bruce, and the times, the first part of that race, they went very quickly. To me, Hariba, I think he'd certainly be up to the class of Blue Boss. He's a very underrated horse, Blue Boss. He's probably proved he's just off the best handicap horses. But I think potentially later on, Hariba might go on to be a Group 1 winner.
And Keith, how would you Gold Bros and Brawny Spirit are 2 other 3-year-olds we've seen this year, earlier on. Do you think Hariba's in their class?
It's very hard to equate the form because they've done it, and Hariba has yet to do it, but every test put to him, his passing, the big one, of course, first up after a let-up in the William Reid. If he passes at Group 1 level, and he's with them, and maybe better than...
Gee, that's something to look forward to. And finally, Michael, the last mention on Hariba, did he feel 100% yesterday as he did at the Valley? Was he as good yesterday as he was at the Valley?
Well, I think he was, Bruce. At the Valley, I pressured him for the first part of the race, and that's why he ran such quick time. And yesterday it was a different race and different circumstances where he did it very easy and was only asked to go the last 300. That's why the time of the race would be a little bit slower.
I think the fascinating thing about Hariba is that the test of a great horse is temperament and courage, and if a horse can get to him and maybe head him is what he'll find under great pressure. We won't know that until he races against Scalacci and all those other good horses. Let's have a look at Blue Boss, Keith, because it was just the race before, same distance, he cruised up. Now, he's an interesting horse, isn't he? He's had 21 starts and won 9 times, never been placed other than winning, so he's hit or missed, but I'd rate him as a very good Group 3, not quite Group 2, definitely not Group 1, even though he could win in Perth at Group 1.
There was a lot of speed on early. In fact, I thought too much, and a cluster of horses went out and set it up for Blue Boss. That's him now cruising to the front. This is the softest win you'd see. It was anticipated too. 5-2 into 7-4. That's a decent plonk, and the money was never in doubt. He's going on to Perth for the Railway Stakes, 1,500 metres. That's a nice distance for him too, and he'll probably have a run before that.
Well, he's got a great record at 1,400. Corregidor, who was the favourite for the Railway, got beaten yesterday in Perth, and Credit Accounts lost its jockey because, well, Mark Miller was suspended during the week. So, good horse, Blue Boss, but he is a bit hit or miss, isn't he? He's either winning or not running nowhere.
Yes, he's Argentinian bred. He's raced everywhere. He's raced in Sydney and Brisbane and Melbourne, of course, and now Perth coming up. But, he's very good. He's just a length or 2 off being one of the best in the land at that distance, you know.
Do you think he could win in Perth, Michael, in a race like the Railway?
I certainly think that'd be the suitable race for him, Bruce, and you can see David Hall's just bringing the horse along quietly, and I think he's probably going to have one more run, I read, before the Railway, so he'll be right on target.
Michael mentioned David Hall. It's probably unfair of us not to have mentioned Ken Newman, the trainer of Hariba. Ken's been pottering around. He's had some good horses over several years. Finally, he's got the horse he deserves, and he's doing a great job with it too, Bruce, harking back to Hariba.
Yeah, no, it's good, and suddenly Ken's going to have a lot of pressure on him, and he's got this special horse, and it's going to be interesting to see just how well he does come up. Let's hope he does in the William Reid. Some of the other big races around Australia yesterday. Let's go to Rosehill, the Christmas Cup. Jenkins winning, well ridden by Kevin Moses. He's about to hook out on the home turn. He had a one-eyed blinker. Bart Cummings, the trainer.
Tan behind them. Irish Rort on the fence is now under heavy pressure. And here comes Jenkins right around the outside of the field with a big run as they turn for home. Into the straight. Striking Gold went to the lead over Successful Bid and Barracuda, but Jenkins is the big danger. Long Tan is struggling. He can't go on at the 200 mark, and it's Jenkins in the one cup blinker. On the extreme outside, he charged to the front now, Jenkins. Getting through near the inside, Demerit is coming home well, but Jenkins well clear. He's going to win the Christmas Cup on his ear. Jenkins won easily over Demerit. Third's pretty close. Striking Gold or Irish Rort.
Some interesting runs from a Summer Cup point of view, but Jenkins obviously on the money. The Doomben Stakes was the big race in Brisbane. I think the best field of the day. Watch Shane Scriven on the grey here, Bucks Pride. He's in the red colours. You've never seen a bloke look around so often, but it did win very comfortably.
They're followed then by Promenade Daddy going up with that bunch as they approach the turn. Unequals just behind those. Gem of the West is looking for ground from Sprightly Jet, and Blondin's taken to the extreme outside, and Unequal trying to wend his way through. 300 metres to go. Predamore tackled by Dapple Up, Romney Wawa. Bucks Pride coming on the outside. Gem of the West looking for the way out, and Blondin is coming with a big run. Dapple Up led at the 100. Bucks Pride, Blondin the outside. Bucks Pride got the Dapple Up with 50 metres to go ahead of Blondin. Bucks Pride's driving away, and Bucks Pride's going to win it easily from Blondin or Dapple Up.
Maybe a rear vision mirror there for Scriven, but gee, got the money. He's a good horse, Bucks Pride. He's won 16 races and over 400,000. And the other big race in Perth, the Western Australian Oaks, were Lewin Concert. Troy Jackman coming back from Melbourne and riding Lewin Concert to victory.
2 lengths to Maid of Magic coming home well. They're followed by Sudden Burst and Lewin Concert. Further back, Oh Sister under the stick. Erupt is running on from Mouser, Fancy Chance and Fail It well back. Then Flirtatious Miss, My Top Filly and Lady Icon. Windsor Lass kicked again. Got a second wind at the 300. Windsor Lass still 2 lengths in front. Here come the stablemates, Maid of Magic and Lewin Concert. Lewin Concert going the better is out after Windsor Lass, and down the outside is Fancy Chance. Windsor Lass won't surrender. Lewin Concert taking all day to get to her. Now she puts her head in front. Fancy Chance finishing brilliantly. Lewin Concert just in front. Lewin Concert won the Oaks. Lewin Concert scored from the fast finishing Fancy Chance. Over on the inside, Windsor Lass gave her back as a great sight.
Yes, the Perth boy going home, Troy Jackman, to win on Lewin Concert in the Western Australian Oaks. Well, an enormous day of racing right around Australia today, and also coinciding with the Hong Kong Bowl and the Hong Kong Cup.
Yes, they're at Sha Tin, there in the evening, really, I suppose, Eastern Standard Time. Anyway, Mick, you ran second on Fra, the subsequent Caulfield Cup winner last year. Yes,
it was a good form line, the race, Keith, and, you know, certainly a great day's racing there today.
Tough races to win?
I think it's very hard because your horse has got to travel well and acclimatise quickly, and that's the big asset in winning the race is how your horse travels. And
well, Dark Czar, if I may interrupt, certainly hasn't done that. He had an horrific trip over.
No, just saying then he's lost 25 kilos and gained 10, but I think that's going to make it difficult for him. But also there's a local horse called River Verdun who's rated the best horse in Hong Kong. He would be very hard to beat.
He's a last start winner, so he must be in form.
Yes, he was favourite last year for the race and didn't have a lot of luck in the race, so his form's back on target for the race, so he would be the one to beat.
Give you a little clue too, Bruce. There are 2 Japanese horses running. One in each of the races today.
Almost your second home, by the way. Go on.
They're being ridden by the top jockeys in Japan, Akabe and Take. Last year, the Japanese media sent 1 journalist to Hong Kong. This year, they've sent 50. Do you think there's something cooking?
Well, I think there might be something cooking. And Michael, you're going to Hong Kong to ride in February. Good luck with that. All the best.
Bruce, yep.
Thanks for coming in today. Speaking of cooking, Keith, I've cooked you something today because it was your birthday on Friday. You were, I think you were 41 from memory. I might have just got it wrong there, Keith. All your friends here at Channel 7 have put in for this cake. I baked it last night, mate, and we've got you a candle. Happy birthday, Keith.
Thank you, Brucey. Your thoughtfulness is exceeded only by your generosity.
I tell you what, I know one thing. He's got enough wind in there to blow that out very easily. Go on, Keith, show us. I told you.
Thanks, pal.
We take a break. Coming up after this, a story about Aboriginals and their contribution to Australia and sport.